What's going on, guys? In today's video we're going to talk about how to create the handwriting effect in Adobe After Effects. The key to get it right and do it successfully is to choose a font which looks similar to a handwriting style. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm in After Effects. What I'll do is that I'll go to New Composition, and I'll call it Handwriting Effect, and that is it. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll go here and I'll go to New and I'll create a text layer. Okay, so I'm going to do it on the white background, and as you can see, I'm going to select for a font called Freestyle Script. Okay, I think that should be okay. And what we'll do is we'll just say hello. Okay. Okay, so this is your text. What we're going to do now is make sure that before we start, make sure that the text layer is selected, and then we're going to select the pen tool. You can zoom in on the text to make it a bit more easy for you to use the pen tool. You can also move this around just by pressing H and then for the hand tool, and you can move it around if you want to. Release the H on the keyboard, and then it will then you go back to your pen tool to continue with your handwriting effect. So we're going to trace over the word hello, and we have to do it by each character. But you have to think about what is the natural handwriting way. What is where you would normally start if you were to write this yourself in a handwriting. Where would you start from, and how would the flow go? So I'm going to start from the top in H. So you click here first, and then that's where we're going to start from. The next click is, let's say, is here, but if you click and hold, then you can actually make the curve as well. Okay, so over here it's going to be a little bit of a curve. Then the next one, click and hold. There you go. Try to keep it to the center, so it's easy to move around, and wherever there are curves, then you can actually manage those curves better as well, as long as your line is actually in the center of the character. It does take a while to get used to it, but once you are used to it, it's a fairly quick process. If by mistake you start a new line, like this, for example, what you can do is you can undo that, and you go back to your last point, select the last point, select the last point that you made. While that's selected, then click into your next location, and that will join the line straight away. If by mistake you started a new path, so if this does happen, what you can do is you select your old path, your original path that you were working on, select the pen tool, and then just continue from there. Okay, so the rest of the video I'm just going to speed up a bit because it does take a while to do all the characters, depending on how long the word is, but yeah, have a look and enjoy. so now we have our path. What we need to do next is to create a stroke over this path. To do that, we go to Effect and we go to Generate, and then we go to Stroke. Okay, so that's your stroke. So to make it easier for us to see the stroke, what I normally do is that I change the color actually of the stroke. In this case, I'll probably go for something like blue, for example. Yeah, let's try this one. Okay. Once you've chosen the color, this is only for you to be able to actually see and to make sure that it actually the stroke covers the text completely and each character. That's why I changed the color. But obviously it is not at the moment covering the whole text and each letter. To do that, we need to increase the brush size. So on the left hand side in the stroke menu, you have the brush, which is currently on default, it's at 2. What we'll do is that we will now increase it, drag it to the right so that it increases up until it covers all the characters. Okay, and then we can make adjustment to make sure that every part of the character is actually hidden. Okay, for that, what you can do is you can just adjust your path. So that we have no place where the text can be seen at this stage. Okay, so now we have the stroke. What we need to do is now we need to animate this stroke. To do that, we need to make this to 0. So we've done this to 0, but it's not active yet. To make it active, we will click on the toggle. So it starts here. Okay, so it starts at 0 seconds. Now for the animation, we'll just go ahead in the timeline, let's say something like 3 seconds, for example. And at this stage, we will change the end to 100. So just as a trial run, let's go back and we can see how that's going to look like. Okay, so that was only up to 3 seconds. There you go. The only thing is, in the animation, we don't want to see the stroke, of course. We want it to look like a handwriting effect. Stroke will be invisible completely. So what we will do is that we will actually come here and click on Reveal Original Image. Okay. So let's play this. There you go. Okay, play it again. Okay, you can of course change the path. Actually, the one that you made on the pen tool, to fine-tune your text and your animation, etc., etc. But this is the whole process for doing a handwriting effect. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.